So 9. What is your take on 9, or shall I dive in on my thoughts?
The shitty first draft.
Here's the thing that's occurring to me. I think, and I don't want to do this now. But I think that when we go back and do the first pass of the whole document, I think my 3,000 word chapter thing is going to get busted here. I think the action scene with the Josies is going to wind up being continuous, and we're going to wind up picking up at Jeremy's house at the beginning of a chapter. That's my guess.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that where your head is going? Just curious. Not that I disagree. I just
having the chapter break in the middle of the action.
Yeah.
I think breaks up the action in a way that it doesn't want to get broken up. I think that the action we had going at the end of last chapter was solid and propulsive, and this one is solid and propulsive, and all of it shows Josie being smart, and it's and I think the end of that section where she's saying, oh fuck, I know where we're going, is such a good.
You think that should be a chapter end?
That's a good ending.
I don't know that I have 1,500 more words of Josie being chased.
No, I don't.
Okay.
That's for later. I don't know what happens after that. Maybe we do Jeremy and then part of the ER with Michael or whatever. I don't know, but I'm just thinking that, or maybe the next chapter with Jeremy's just really short. I don't.
No. What I'm saying is I don't think I have 1,500 more words of Josie being chased. I mean, I could do 1,500 more words in Jeremy's apartment.
No, what I'm saying is I think my 3,000 word rule is going to die.
So you're saying that's a 1,500 word or 2,000 word chapter?
I think the last chapter, I think 8, is going to wind up being a long chapter, because I think the action that we have at the beginning of 9 is going to live more happily as the end of 8.
Oh, I hear what you're saying.
And then 9 will begin with, and this is a guess. I don't know how that's actually going to play out, but
you're saying take the last half of 8 and the first half of 9 and turn that into a 3,000 word chase.
Well, I'm saying I may have to give up with my 3,000 word chapter.
No. But I'm just, yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying those feel so well connected and so fluid, and the end of it is such a good invitation to keep reading on that. I mean, one of the things we talked about when we were doing Leviathan Wakes was having every chapter be an invitation to read the next one.
Yeah.
And oh shit, I know where we're going. That's a great end to the chapter. And then the next line is Jeremy, and you think, oh, that's where she's going.
I can see it. Yeah, I mean, if you're okay with a 4,500 word chapter,
I think I gotta be. I think my OCD will have to just learn to cope.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it's not gonna cause you to go on the anxiety meds.
I'm actually a lot more fluid about it when we're into editing. It's just so useful for me to have that goalpost when we're doing the first drafts.
Right.
That I think I can let it go.
Okay, so we're not looking to do a short chapter. What we're looking to do is one long chapter.
I think we're probably looking to do a long chapter, and then we'll see what happens with Jeremy and Mike, and whatever happens with 10 and 11 and 12.
I mean, a half chapter of Mike at the hospital doesn't hurt my feelings.
Well, and we'll see what that looks like when today we'll see what that looks like.
Well, I'm glad the first half worked for you.
Oh no, I really liked the first half. I really liked the all of the smart shit that she was doing. And it's like, your friend got shot. Go help him. I gotta go. It's like, okay, I'm gonna muddy the waters here. I'm gonna make you take a tempo to think while I'm elsewhere.
Okay, so that's a very direct lift, because to anyone else it won't seem like a direct lift, but in my head it is. So I think I told you this last time we were hanging out in LA, that I have a thing that has become my Jerry Springer. And my Jerry Springer, the thing I watch when I want to feel good about myself because I'm not the train wreck that's currently on the screen, which is why people watch Jerry Springer, right? It's like,
sure.
Oh, thank God I'm not that train wreck. That's the joy of it, right? My Jerry Springer is watching compilations of people in court. Because I'm fascinated by the legal process. You know, I'm a law school dropout. I was interested enough in the law to think that might be my career. Obviously, it's not, and I didn't go that way, and I'm very happy I didn't. But I'm still fascinated by how the law works and what people do when they are in trouble with the law. That's very fascinating. And so there's these people who go out and they, you know, when COVID came, there was all these Zoom court cases, and they go and they get all the best clips from the Zoom court cases, and they put them on YouTube. And one thing that I find fascinating is how people who are consistently in trouble with the law, not somebody who got a traffic ticket the first time and they're terrified in court and they just want to get out of there as quickly as possible, and they'll agree to anything the judge says. I'm talking about the people who, you know, they've got 11 charges in their jacket, and you know they've been on probation for 3 years.
They're citizens.
They're citizens of the court system. How their go-to move, whether they're smart or not, because some people that are there are smart, never seem like they're fairly smart, and some people there are clearly the reason why the average IQ in prison is 20 points lower than the average IQ outside of prison, because they're clearly not brain surgeons. But all of them have the same move, and that is to obfuscate, to talk fast, to say a lot of things, to just kind of keep everybody trying to figure out what they just said while they're moving on to the next thing. And they won't shut up. They just keep doing it, right? They're just constantly throwing up stuff and hoping any of it works. And, you know, that's like the go-to move. And so I was thinking, you know, there must be, when you get in that life, there must be this something that pushes you toward just always be keeping everybody off balance. Just always say whatever you think will manipulate the other person for a moment to let you get what you want, right? And this idea sort of popped in my head that Josie would have that. She would have that thing where, like, you talk your way out of stuff. You're always talking your way out of stuff all the time. Even in an earlier chapter, you have Jeremy talking his way out of the guys who are robbing him, right? And so when I was first writing the scene, that when Baca shows up, I was like, how does she get past Baca? Does she like run over and elbow him in the stomach, or does she hit him with her book bag? Like, I just couldn't see her doing any of those things. I even had an early draft where I considered, like, she still has the statue in her hand and she throws it at him, right? No, that didn't make any sense.
No.
So then I was just like, she's just going to say something. She's just going to yell something at him that she's just trying to get him to hesitate for a minute, right? And while he's figuring out what she just said, she's just going to run away. And so that just sort of becomes her move then, is like, I'm just going to say something confusing. And while the other person's going, did she say what I thought she said? She's already taken off, right? This is the criminal sort of reaction to those things.
Am I supposed to go help my guy who got shot? Or, oh, fuck that. No, I should be chasing you. And by then, she's already got the scooter and she's on her way. And
that is the idea.
Yeah.
And it just felt much better to me than having her do something physical.
In my version of this, which was not as good, was that she can get to the scooter first and then like drive on sidewalks and stairways where the car can't go. But this is better, so I'm very happy with this. The Jeremy scene, as always, I'm going to go in and put some physical details.
It's dialogue heavy.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it was late at night. I was just trying to get it done, and I just wanted to get the dialogue out of my head. So yes, it is very light on physical detail, very light on action, all that stuff.
Yeah, no,
I just wanted to get the dialogue out of my head at like 3 a.m. and get it sent off.
And I don't think that's going to be a hard lift. I'm just going to put in,
Well, and especially if we tack that chapter onto the beginning of something else, we'll have as much space as we need.
There's plenty of space. There's no reason to rush. I did have a question. We had talked about Brad's, coming up with his wonder drug, which we got there. As I was reading it, what I was wondering, the wonder drug is an invention. Yeah. Is it a mandala? Because it feels like a mandala. The way that you were describing was...
It could be.
I kind of like it as one.
That's open to whatever we want to do with it. I wanted it to be weirder than just a good drug. So that's why I have the vague implication that Brad is actually reading everybody's mind. Like, I never say it. Right. I like at one point Jeremy says it, but he's high, right? Mm-hmm. When he says it, so he can't be trusted. But just sort of that Brad has been taking enough of this that it has done something weird to his brain, and now he's just sort of
doing stuff. Yeah. You see, this thumbs up thing. It's coming up for no reason. I'm not making any gestures.
It's when you click your pen.
Really?
Yeah. When you clicked your pen on screen, you got a thumbs up. It doesn't do it every time, but it does it sometimes.
Fucking with me. This thing is fucking with me. Okay. So I was thinking
you got like party mode turned on or something.
I'm moving and shaking.
Because occasionally it like does balloons.
Oh, I like the balloons, the hearts, and the little all kinds of fun stuff. So moving forward, we're going to be traveling before too terribly long, and I'd kind of like.
You just got another thumbs up.
I have. It approves of that. I don't know.
In March, right?
In March, and we're getting close to the end of Act 1 here. We're getting. It's not as compact as I had originally thought. There's some more stuff that needs to happen because I think we need to have the last little bit of action with the zombie and Mike and everybody.
Oh, we have
skipping town before the end of the act.
That's is going to kick them out onto the road.
Yeah, and the road trip is Act 2. So we need to get we need to get all the way to the road trip before we can hit Act 2.
Yep.
And I've been thinking about things that I want to see. The scenes that I think are that want to be in there. Like I want Mike's recollection of the crime scene, because we cut away. He was heading towards the farmhouse.
Yeah. No,
and then he came back.
It feels like that can be a thing in the doctor's office.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the place for it. I think that's part of that. And it'd be
interesting to have a bit of, without drawing attention to it, a bit of a mirror of Josie's moment that she describes to Chip, or when she met Chip the first time. If Mike's sitting in clinic and he's looking at the little mirror over the sink and kind of like recognizing that he's got that post-combat stare. But now the difference is he has seen that face before. So Josie says she's never seen that face before. It was like looking at a stranger.
Right.
Mike goes, "Oh, I know him."
Oh.
Yeah, I know
that's where I am.
Oh. There I am.
Yeah, there I am.
Yeah. It's the one where you pull up to the Humvee of your fellow guys and half of them are blown apart by an IED and it's that stare.
And it's that part of what I would love to play with this, because what we're building towards is his face down with the boss, where he says, this whole fresh eyes thing, that's bullshit. You never fucking put me into this situation again. And he's a little humiliated. He's a little betrayed. He's a little shocky because not only has he just had his nose broken, he also, he was on edge before he went there because he saw a crime scene as bad as anything he's seen, not worse, but as bad as anything he's seen before. He should be a little wrecked. He should be a little raw, and he should be pissed.
Yeah, I think his brain responds to that trauma with anger.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I think you're right. When he gets back to Mexico City and confronts the boss, he should be scary angry.
Yes, and not
even sociopath Leo is like, oh, I should be careful right now,
and not uncontrolled.
No.
Mike doesn't seem like that guy. His anger seems very well disciplined.
Yes. He's not going to throw things around the room.
No, but he's going to say things in a simple, clear, well-enunciated tone of voice that have the weight of death behind them. And I want to start I want to see that building. I want to start laying the foundation in for that.
Well, if it so one of the things that I have seen consistently from people who did a significant amount of time in the military, any military branch, is this, especially if they were at the lower echelons, like non-commissioned officers and below, sergeants and below.
Mm-hmm.
Is this frustration and anger with the idiot bosses, right? That the the guy in the army, he loves the army. The army is great. He's very happy about the army. The only problem with the army is every fucking idiot officer, right?
All the people. One of the problems with people.
Yeah, all the idiots in the officer ranks are the only thing that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Mike was an NCO when he was in the military. He feels like a sergeant to me.
Okay.
A high-ranking sergeant, but a sergeant. And there's still that sort of anger, like, the officers will fuck you over. The men will do a good job if they get the right information, but the officers will always give you the wrong information. They'll always tell you to do the wrong things. They're idiots, right?
Right.
And the guys get killed because somebody in an office somewhere in Washington, D.C., picked the wrong thing on a map, and now my guys are getting shot out here in the field. Right. And there's sort of this undercurrent of anger all the time about that. And that moment when he's sitting in the hospital and he's looking at the mirror and he's thinking, yeah, this is what that felt like. This is what it felt like when they said, oh, go into that cave. We don't expect high resistance. And then you go in the cave and fucking everybody's in the cave.
Yeah.
And now you're fighting for your life to just get back out again without getting your whole team killed. And you never met the guy. You'll never meet the guy who picked that cave, right?
Right. And he may never know what he did.
Yep.
It may not get back to him.
Confronting Leo and going, when you send me in with imperfect information,
and
this is what happens.
And part of what we're building toward that in the short term, but that's building toward Mike switching sides.
Yes, all of it is. Yeah, all of it is part of that. Yep.
So there's two things. If what we're doing here is putting down the first foundations of that change, the two things he needs to be doing, or that need to be present anyway, at the clinic are anger at Leo, a growing anger at Leo, and
horror at the scene that he found, combined with the growing anger,
and some respect for Josie.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be pissed off at her. I mean, he's going to be pissed off at her because his nose is broken, but also, there's a certain respect for this person who beat you.
If you've ever been like in a combat martial art, like boxing or anything else, it's not pleasant when somebody just beats your ass, but afterwards there is a grudging respect where you're like, that guy was better than me. He kicked my ass. Like, yes. You go over and you shake their hand and you're like, hey, good match, man. You really,
you got me.
Really whooped up on me.
And I mean, and he's not going to think, oh my God, she's a great warrior, but he's going to think, yeah, okay, she had a tempo. She got the tempo and she used it.
Yep.
She's a talent. She's got some talent.
Well, that's why I was jokingly talking about the Fargo scene. A man sends us to catch a woman, but it turns out she is a tiger. Why does the man wish us to catch a tiger? Yeah,
right.
Yeah. It's that. It's like, what I was told, or at least what I got from the jacket, is some former criminal drug addict who works at a coffee shop. That was not descriptive enough. That did not give me the information I needed.
Turns out that she's more interesting than that, as evidenced by the fact that I'm now in a fucking urgent care.
Right. The other thing we should deal with, and I tipped the cap to this, but we need to make it explicit.
Yeah.
Is that, there's been a shooting on a campus. That's usually big news.
That's a thing. That's a problem.
One of the things that I want to do is have the because what Josie's worried about, what she would be worried about, is we've already said there's cameras outside the campus.
Sure.
So when she ran out, she's going to be thinking, am I on camera now? Is that footage going to be on the 6 o'clock news? That whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
If all the footage mysteriously was corrupted,
mm-hmm.
and so they're like, the university is, the news thing would be the university is working with local law enforcement to see if the footage can be recovered. The universities expressed their sincere regret that the system failed at this crucial moment. That whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just Leo. Leo just had it erased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it may have been. Is it a beta we have out there or is it Baca? It's Baca.
Baca who drops Leo off, because
okay.
Baca is the one who took him out to the farmhouse.
Okay, so yeah, while Mike was putting his nose back together, Baca just went and did that. I mean, that's.
I think Leo has a backdoor into CRG's servers.
Also possible.
I think Leo just has a backdoor into their servers. Why wouldn't he? Right?
Fair.
I'm betting that
his stuff is on the university system. Therefore, he has.
And I'm betting the big server farm in the basement is all Cruise Tech servers.
Right.
Right. I mean,
no, that makes sense.
So I think after this all happened, after this all went down, he just got one of his guys to open up the back door and delete all the footage.
Because the CRG security is better than the campus security footage, because why wouldn't it be?
Why wouldn't they be?
Yeah.
So that was, we just need to, maybe what we could do, because you were saying have Baca go back and do it, but maybe what we could do instead is have Baca come into the room and says, I got a call from one of Cruz's guys, took care of the footage on the, just have somebody say it out loud, right? Don't worry, boss, you won't be on the 6 o'clock news.
Not going to mess with your Tinder profile. No one's going to know. It's like, fuck you.
Oh, no, Mike is on Grindr.
Well, yes, okay. I'm not going to focus on Grindr profile. Tinder's not all straight, is it?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I've never used any of those services. I just know I have a friend who jokes about being a gay friend who jokes about signing up for Grindr, and I assume that means that that's the gay version.
Well, I knew that much, but I didn't know if Tinder was exclusively for the straights.
I don't know.
Not a place.
I'm way too old and way too married to have any dating profiles.
Right there with you.
I think I'm actually too. Isn't there like an age limit for? I remember reading that one time that there's like an age limit for Tinder.
There is a separate app for old farts like us. Sorry, there's a phone call coming in.
Yeah, I could tell because that's your old Mystery Science Theater ringtone. I didn't know you were still using that one.
Oh yeah, no, that's absolutely.
We put our faith in brick, hard cheese.
All right.
But yeah, I mean that scene makes sense to me because it's a nice scene that takes care of a lot of things while Mike's having a quiet moment. So it's not just Mike's quiet moment. So it's Mike's in there looking at himself, seeing himself at times like this in the past when he was in the military, remembering how pissed he was whenever he got bad information from the higher ups, and it led to either the death of some of his guys or them being put in a situation they didn't need to be put into, and how pissed that made him then. Then you got Baca coming in and saying, hey boss, I got a call from Cruz's guy. They went ahead and took care of all the camera footage on the servers. don't have to worry about being on the 6 o'clock news. What's our next move? And so, interspersed with those things is Mike's sort of pondering how he feels about all this and thinking about Josie the tiger and all that stuff. I mean that makes sense. That feels like a nice little chunk of getting some busy work out of the way while also having a nice character moment for Mike.
Mm-hmm. And then what happens after that? So we've gone from the Josie showing up at Jeremy's to...
Well, so I have Doc say there's somewhere I need to go. There's somebody I need to find.
Which
that is the setup for going to find Maya.
Is that for Maya? Okay, yeah.
It's going to Tim.
Yeah.
To ask Tim where Maya is, right?
So do we want to swap over? So here's my pitch.
Yeah.
Do we do a section of Mike going through all of this and Baca saying, okay, what's the next move? And
well, at some point they need to discuss the fact that a beta has missed 2 comm checks. Because a beta was the one who went to check, or was it a beta or cellular? One of the two. One of the two of them was the one who was supposed to go check on Tim.
Okay.
And they haven't heard back from that person for like 2. He's missed 2 comm checks, and they're like, we got to go check on that, right?
We got to go check. Okay, go check on that. And I don't know what we're coming into, but be prepared what we need to do, fucking everybody who could.
Yeah, what we need to do here is we need to split Baca off from Mike. So what I think it happens is, because they don't expect it to be like a horrible monster from beyond time and space has taken a beta out of the scene. They just think there's something going on over there. We haven't heard from Tim. We haven't from beta. We need to go check on that. Micah says, we need to have people on all the places this girl might go. I want somebody, you go watch her apartment. I want Cellular watching the parents' house. I'll go find a beta. I'll go
find a beta, and
I'll go find a beta. I'll go check on that, and I'll be in touch with you guys.
In this case, the Mike that's in my head right now, it's good operational sense to say, okay, we need to find this girl, cover the places she might go. I'm pissed. I'm embarrassed. I'm going to go to the place that has the greatest possibility for things who have gone wrong.
Right.
Because I kind of need to prove my manhood. I need to kind of reclaim a little bit right now. Reclaim a little bit right now. So I'm gonna take the dangerous one, because he's a little freaked out. I mean, the crime scene was bad. Whatever they're into here is bad. And I actually like him a little bit more if his response is, this is I got 3 things that need to happen, and one of them has the potential to be really dangerous. That one's mine.
Yep.
I'm not putting my guys onto that one without, while I go watch the...
I don't know that he's thinking that one of them has a potential to be really dangerous. I think he's thinking one of them has a big unknown in it.
Well, but the last unknown he had a kid beaten to death. So
no, obviously he can draw that connection. I just don't want to seem like he's prescient that there's a zombie waiting for him there.
No, I'm not looking for prescience on that. Yeah. I'm just looking for having the context of just having seen a horrific crime scene and having one of his guys not call back twice.
And having one of his guys not call in. Yeah, that combination of things, even if they are unrelated, would put you on edge, for sure.
Right. And so if he's going, okay, well, somebody's killing the shit out of people, and my guy hasn't called back twice.
And my guy hasn't called in.
I'm going in ready to shoot people.
And I don't think he's as worried about a beta. So here's my thinking on this. So the guys like this are trained that you do comm checks when the schedule is and when it's safe to do so. So if you're in a situation where checking in would expose you or
compromise
something, you don't. And then you check in later, right?
Right.
So he's not immediately going to something happen to a beta. He's just going, Beta's somewhere where he can't do a comm check-in right now. I need to figure that out. But the thing he would go to is another member of this team that we went to check on was fucking murdered. Now this Tim guy isn't checking in. And is he murdered too? So I don't think he's worried about a Beta. I think he's thinking, if I go in there, am I going to find another pile of corpses?
Right.
So that's where his head is.
Yes, he is.
Right. But that feels like a logical leap to me. It's like, yeah, that other guy didn't check in. That's because he was dead. This guy hasn't checked in. Is he dead?
Yeah. And is my guy in trouble, or is he arrested, or what's
exactly
going on?
that he'd be thinking that, like, did a Beta stumble into something he didn't expect, and now he just got arrested in a room full of corpses, and he's sitting in a jail cell somewhere waiting for a phone call. Is that where he's at?
And that's going to be the scenario he wants to think about, because part of his head is also going to be back in that cave with his guy who didn't get back out of the cave.
Yeah, for sure. Because this is going to bring all that up.
All of that is now fresh.
Yeah.
And so when he gets to Tim's house, he's going to be ready to shoot somebody. That's
yes.
He's going to be on a hair trigger. Okay, so that's that scene, and then after that, Doc, Jeremy.
Okay, so let's see here. Let's just logically go through it, because I'm losing track here. Okay, so the end of the scene of the chapter I just sent you is I need to go talk to some. Do you have a vehicle? I need to go talk to somebody. Then we go to Mike, and it's Mike with the hospital stuff and making the next plan, right?
Which is, you go check here, you go check there. I'm going to go find a Beta.
I'm going to go take a Beta. The thing that follows that is Doc going to Tim's house. So she borrows the van. Brad loans her the van. She drives over to Tim's house. We have the whole horror movie. I'm trapped in a house with a horrible monster, and pieces of my dead friends are scattered around the room. And ending with her outsmarting the zombie and trapping it somewhere, and then getting the fuck out of there. Because
okay. I just had this thought, and it is maybe a bad idea,
or maybe it's a great idea.
What if instead of trapping the zombie, she isolates herself in a place of safety, but is trapped in the apartment? And here's what I'm thinking.
Because then Mike shows up.
Does that thing. In the course of it, she escapes. So we could set Doc up there, locked in, whatever improvised panic room she's got, with the zombie outside, moving around. She can hear it. She doesn't have a way to get out. Then we drop back to our Josie and Jeremy, and have this moment of kind of this character building moment with that tension just kind of floating over us, where there's bad shit is going on. The guy with the gun is heading to the place with the zombie. The girl we like is locked in a closet with the zombie, and we're sitting here talking about our relationship.
Right.
That's the place to put that relationship conversation. That makes the relationship conversation interesting.
Right.
In a way it would not be otherwise.
I like that. I had a similar thought, but I think yours is probably better. The thought I had was if she's quietly sneaking toward the front door and like staying silent so the zombie doesn't hear her, and then the door opens and Mike comes in and he's like, "I got you," and she goes, and she yells so that the zombie comes running out. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and then she runs out the door and runs away. But I like your tension version better.
There's and that moment can happen in, as we get to the resolution of that scene, because what has to happen in the resolution of that scene is Mike's got to get there. He's got to face down the zombie, and Doc has to get away.
Yep. Yep.
And what the choreography of that is, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I like her having some of the instinctive cleverness that our Josie has, because they're the same person, right?
right.
And I just, what I pictured in my head is her slowly circling Mike to put his back to the hallway. Like just slowly circling, and then when she's got his back to the hallway, just yelling at the top of her lungs, and then Mike going,
hey,
Mike going, hey, calm, calm the fuck down, or I'm gonna knock you out. And then hearing somebody running down the hallway and turning around, and here comes the guy at him at full speed.
And then while that's going on, Doc
fucks off. She's out. Yeah.
See, that I don't hate that, but I think that may be maybe from Mike's perspective.
Sure. Yeah, I actually think that's kind of cool from Mike's perspective.
Okay, so
because at some point he's going to be like, no, I'm tired of getting my ass handed to me by these two little girls.
Yeah, and
this is twice now.
And the I was thinking about this, the fight with the zombie, Mike's fight with the zombie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that's going to wind up being at some point hand to hand.
Oh yeah,
just because. And
well, no, what I picture. Oh, go finish your thought, and then I'll tell you.
My thought is, Mike is going to. I would like it if Mike learned about the zombie by fighting it.
Yeah.
If it was like, oh, this is not somebody who is strong. This is not somebody who is trained, but this is somebody who is moving with the same certainty and the same lack of hesitation as someone who is. This is weird. Right. This is a weird combination.
Yep.
Or something like that. I made that up, but something that because of who he is, he has this moment of shared violence that's actually revelatory to him, that he takes something from more than just an action scene.
Right. Yeah. I think all of that is fine. I was thinking if he's got the gun pointed at Doc, because he's not fucking around anymore, right?
No.
Once he catches Doc and he's gonna pull his gun on her, he's gonna have her at gunpoint, he's gonna say, "You are coming with me. We are leaving here together, and I don't want any shit, or I'm just gonna fucking shoot you." And she yells, and he's like, "Yell again, and I'm gonna shoot you in the face." And then he hears the thing, and then turns just in time to see the guy flying down the hallway, slam into him. Gun gets disarmed by just the ferocity of the guy slamming into him. He sees Doc run out the door, but meanwhile he's got this guy on top of him, and the guy's just, like you said, he's just fighting like an animal. He's not fighting like a person, and no effort given to self-defense, no effort given to protecting himself, just anything he can do to try to do damage, using his fingernails, biting, things that guys don't do when they get in fights with other guys.
Yeah.
Right. And Mike is strong enough and trained enough to survive it, but the ferocity of it is surprising.
Well, and the we've just established that Mike was stopped by a broken nose.
Yep.
The zombie,
so he's got an injury on his face.
He's got an injury on his face, and the zombie's not protecting itself. It's just absorbing the damage. It's not trying to preserve itself. It is just raw fucking hatred and trying to kill Mike.
Yep. And what I see is Mike finally getting some leverage, getting the monster off of him, shoving it away, getting up, and then not going for the gun, just letting the thing come at him, and then just beating the living shit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking out every bit of frustration he's got on this thing that's not trying to protect itself. And Mike knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So
at this point, Mike's playing on easy.
Yeah, Mike is playing on easy and just beats the shit out of it, and then has the come down moment, and then looks at it and goes, "Huh, I saw you dead earlier today. What the fuck are you doing here?" Yeah, as the zombie's laying there beat to pulp on the ground.
It's like, you look really familiar in that sort of dead way. Oh,
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm calling the boss. and and covered in blood, his knuckles raw, going,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to chase after Doc right now. I'm not going to chase after the girl looking like this. She's gone. I got this. It's time to.
And he's got two other guys out there. Plus, he's also found his dead third guy in that house. So that's part of his rage too, right?
Yes.
And part of when he's pointing the gun at Doc and he's going, I don't know what the fuck is happening, but one of my team is laying right there with his neck broke.
And
you know something about that. You give me any shit at all, I'm just going to start shooting you in the limbs until you shut up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, he's pissed.
Yeah.
And so he takes all of that rage out on this poor zombie. But I do love the moment where it's coming down, the adrenaline's leaving, he's looking at the guy laying on the ground, and he's going, hey, what are you doing here? Aren't you dead in a farmhouse?
Pretty sure you were dead.
Is
earlier.
Everybody a fucking twin now? When does my twin show up? Yeah, no, I like that. I think it's good.
I'm just writing this down so I don't lose it.
This was a question I wanted to ask. Is it too cute or does it work okay that literally everyone in Jeremy's life is somebody who's been kicked out of something? He was shacked up with Doc, who got kicked out of a PhD program. He got kicked out of the Air Force. His buddy Brad got kicked out of EMT training. Like, literally everyone in his life is somebody who's being kicked out of something.
No, I'm comfortable with that. I think that's I think Jeremy's Beautiful Losers is a fine band name for him.
All right.
All right. So this is actually pretty good. So here's what we got. We've got a passage with Mike in the urgent care.
Yep.
We've got a passage with Doc processing what she's thought, thinking about why she's going to Tim's house, thinking about Maya, thinking about the boundary wave, getting to Tim's, being found, finding a beta, seeing the zombie, locking herself in the closet or whatever, and being trapped. We have Josie and Jeremy doing their ex-relationship thing at Jeremy's place.
Yep.
And then we have Mike and the second half of the zombie fight. This is at least 2 more chapters. Minimum.
Yeah, well, we also need to have Jeremy go try to pick up Doc's things from her apartment.
Do you want to dramatize that, or do you want to do it in exposition?
Well, what we could do is when we pick up with Doc, or with not Doc, when we pick up with Josie and Jeremy, he can have just come back from that.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that. We can do that off stage, or we could play it. Either one is fine.
All I was saying is we can have, if you want to, we can have Jeremy. We can start with Jeremy comes in the door. She goes, "Where's my shit?" And he's like, "No, I couldn't get in."
Yeah,
there was a guy in the alley, definitely a fucking cop. Cops are watching your place.
I just kept
going.
It's
Baca, but he doesn't know that, right? He just
but but he knows a cop when he sees one.
He knows a cop when he sees one.
He knows muscle.
Yep.
So we can do it that way. Yeah, and I don't know that we gain a whole lot by dramatizing that moment.
No. And no, I'm fine with him just telling her that he went there and tried to get her stuff. Part of what we need in order to drive her onto the road is her growing realization that there are no safe places in White Oak anymore.
Yep.
That
which that does.
And she should also communicate with her mom. And I don't know if that's with a phone call, I don't know if that's with a text. I don't know what it is, but mom, something in that communication needs to let her know that mom is saying this is not a safe place to come back to.
Yeah. I don't think that's this one though. I think that's after Mike and the zombie fight, because the last thing that we need, the last kind of passage in this is everybody leaves White Oak.
Yeah.
Right? So Doc needs to come back to Jeremy's.
Yep.
Mike needs to call Leo.
Yep.
And it feels to me like the Mike calling Leo and Josie texting with her mom are kind of that same moment. They
certainly could be. Yeah.
They're okay, we're now at a phase change. This is when things. Mike is going to go back to Mexico with the bodies. Josie and Doc are going to fuck off.
The other thing we need to get in here before they leave is Jeremy needs to show Josie the drug apparatus. Josie needs to talk to Doc about the drug apparatus, and Doc needs to recognize what is happening, and that the time that they have left is shorter than she hoped, right? Because that's also part of what drives them out onto the road. Because Doc has a plan now. Doc at least has a course that she can chart, which is things are happening faster than I thought. Leo's not on my side. Leo is actually trying to kill me, she did not see that coming. And we've got mandalas showing up in this world. We've got the bursts of technical competence
brilliance
showing up.
Yeah.
With Brad building this distillery in his bedroom. I have to find Maya. Maya is the one who can do the thing that will dampen this.
And she knows this is a long shot. It should not be, this will clearly work. It's, okay, back at home, the one who understood this was Maya. I got to find their Maya.
The piece that we don't have yet, and maybe there's some, I don't know if we want to do shoe leather or something else, but how does she know that Maya's in Arizona?
I think that's going to be, figuring that out is the first part of the road trip.
Okay.
I think the first part of the road trip is, step one of the road trip is get in the car. Just get in the car. Let's just get in the car and we can think about this on the highway. There's plenty of time to think about this driving.
Yeah, and that's great. We totally can do that. It's also this story's happening in the modern age, so there's no reason not to have them do modern things. Like, Farragut said when they said, "Where's Maya?" He said, "I assume she's pursuing other opportunities." That seems like a nice setup for they get on the road, and Josie just goes and looks for a LinkedIn profile.
Right. No, right? I think that's exactly the kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, is this her? No, that's just somebody else named Maya. Okay.
Yeah,
is this her?
Because she's not hiding. She's not hiding from the world. She's just told Farragut and the CRG to go fuck themselves, and then she went up to go stay with her mom, right?
Right. And she's doing, either she's like starting her own mushroom farm startup tech thing in Arizona, or
I like that she's teaching at the Phoenix Community College or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
She went and moved in, not Phoenix, but some other, if there's some little town outside of Phoenix, that she went and moved in with her mom and grabbed a job teaching a few classes at the community college. And because that feels like somebody trying to figure out what to do next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's not hidden. She's just...
Well, but it gives them someplace to go.
Yes.
Because if she's on the community college website, as you know...
And we can say, is this the one? Yeah, that's her.
Yeah,
okay.
Dr. Maya, whatever, are the newest addition to our
faculty.
Our faculty, and there's a picture of her, right?
Yep.
And then Doc can be, that's her. That's the one right there.
That's who we
need to talk to. I don't remember what last name we gave her, but anyway.
I don't either, but I fortunately wrote it down. So
yeah,
we'll figure that out.
That'll work. Then we don't have to do any crazy, like, we must find the key of Abazar to open the lock of Morgoth so that we can find the sword of truth.
We must find the LinkedIn profile for Maya, whose name we
just go on LinkedIn and go, here's Maya. There's 4 people named that.
It's like, okay,
Here's one that looks like her. That must
Sign
be the one.
sign into LinkedIn. I don't have a LinkedIn profile. Well, start a LinkedIn profile. Oh, right. Okay.
No, you know what I love? What I love is Jeremy going, you don't have fucking LinkedIn? Everybody's on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn. How do you not
Jeremy
have a LinkedIn
using
profile?
his LinkedIn profile.
I'll find her.
and Josie being like, why the fuck do you have LinkedIn? When is the last time you had a job? It's like, yeah,
I'm all about the networking.
I'm still looking.
I'm all about the networking.
I'm all about networking. You know, I'm open to new opportunities.
Yeah.
I like that. I like Jeremy being the only one who has a LinkedIn profile.
Jeremy's going to be fun. Jeremy's going to be a lot of fun.
So I know all of Jeremy's backstory. I know how he wound up being Jeremy because he goes in the Air Force. He goes into the Air Force Security Forces, which is like the Air Force version of MPs. But you know, if you're 19 years old in the military, everybody's drinking, everybody's getting high. It's like, you know, one guy I heard describe it as the military is hyper athletic alcoholic 19-year-olds. Yeah, and that's what it is, right? And so if you're the MP and your buddies are going to get in trouble for maybe smoking a little pot, you can protect them. And it is just a short little hop from I'm protecting my friends from getting busted for drugs to I'm helping my friends move drugs. Right?
Yeah.
It's just a short little hop from one to the next. And now you're an MP in the military muling drugs for your friends. And that's what gets you dishonorably discharged.
Yep.
And you're kicked out of the military. You have no skills. You have a dishonorable discharge. What job can you do? Well, I know how to mule drugs.
Plus, if I do that, I have access to lots of drugs. And I discovered when I was in the military, I really like getting high. Yeah, no. So then everything's coming up Millhouse.
And what I love, and so the all of that backstory is so he could tell one joke where he comes out and he goes, you know, it's true. The military really did me life skills that will last forever.
That's terrible. That's lovely. Okay. So actually we have a pretty decent outline to the end of Act 1 here. It's pretty solid.
Okay.
We got Mike at urgent care, and we've got a bunch of notes from that. We've got Doc reacting to everything that's happened on her way and thinking her plan through as she goes to Tim's house and getting to Tim's house and action. We have Josie and Jeremy and their relationship, which I can do 2,000 words of that standing on my head. We've got the second half of the zombie fight at Tim's, which has a lot of moving parts. It's got finding Doc. It's got Doc calling the zombie. It's got Mike versus the zombie. It's got Mike realizing that he just killed somebody he already seen dead.
Yeah.
We've got Doc getting back to Jeremy's and needing to find Maya and Josie and finding out and taking a look at at Brad's stuff, understanding the situation. That's part of the needing to find Maya. Josie reaching out to her mom and getting waved off, and the decision to get the fuck out of town. We've got Mike calling Leo and the change of plan there, where Mike's going to bring the bodies back to Mexico and set his team to looking for the Josies without him.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of Act 1.
Okay.
I don't know how to cut this into chapters. That may not be a useful thing right now.
Well, what's the next chapter?
Well, the next passage, I don't know if it's a full 3,000 word chapter, is Mike at the urgent care.
Okay.
And then the chapter after, or the passage after that, is Doc going to Tim's house and the first part of the horror movie.
Which one of those do you want to do? I mean, introspective is usually your thing. So Mike sitting in there being all introspective seems like more of a Daniel thing. me.
Yeah, I'm good with that, and I kind of want the first part of Doc's when she's driving to Tim's house and she's
Okay.
in her own head.
Okay.
Um, so if I could do the urgent care up to reaching Tim's house,
Sure.
and then I'll tag out and let you do the actiony bit inside the house.
Okay.
That seems like the right thing.
Okay.
Um,
And in your chunk with Doc, she has to be remembering the house. That this is the house she lived in.
absolutely.
She has to. So, guys, I want her to be totally familiar with the interior layout.
Well, and part of the reason I want to do that is it's got so much backstory about
Yes.
Tim and Maya and who she used to be and who she was when she lived here and what it was like for her and her
the
trying not
introspective
to.
bit.
Yeah, it's the introspective bit. It's the backstory. It's the trying not to process the grief that her Maya and her Tim are gone. So it's that. It's that section.
One of the things, so I'm totally fine with all of that. One of the things I wanted to do with Doc, though, this was something I was planning to do if I wrote the chapter. I still think we should do it. Is she stops off at a 7-Eleven and she gets a big orange juice because she doesn't know how much she just bled. She feels a little woozy. She's like, I should probably get some blood sugar.
Yeah.
like I just want to see her in the van eating a big cookie and drinking some orange juice like you do after you give blood at the blood bank.
Well, and actually, it would be really that's a great moment. It's like, I don't know if this will help, but it's what they do when you give blood at the blood bank.
Exactly.
I just bled a lot, so I'm gonna have a cookie, and then
right, exactly. Yeah, you eat your cookie, you drink your orange juice, and you're like, I hope this actually helps.
That's
did I bleed out a whole pint of blood? I don't know.
Does this actually help? Is this a placebo? I don't know. If it is, I want my placebo.
Also, she needs to be wearing one of Jeremy's shirts.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it has to kind of smell of cigarettes and something else. She doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me do Mike in the urgent care and Josie at the 7-Eleven. That's a good sound. What was
the
that?
other thing is, so
yeah.
Josie and Jeremy had a whirlwind romance, right?
Absolutely.
Something about her just turned his crank, and something about him did the same for her.
No, I think she likes the way that shirt smells.
I think she likes the way the shirt smells.
I think she does like the way the shirt smells.
She likes it. Like it kind of. She's not sure why, but
it's got a little something.
It's got something, right?
Yeah,
because she's got the same chemical receptors in her brain that Josie had.
And this is part of the joy of the road trip is Jeremy going on a road trip with the girl he hasn't dated yet and the girl he already broke up with, who are the same girl. I mean, there's a little.
That's why I did Josie of Christmas Past and Josie of Christmas Present.
Yeah,
when he's looking at him, yeah. And I like, and the thing I liked about that is by having him just have gotten super high, he can be not entirely sure if this is actually happening. So his reaction can be kind of like, Brad, do you see these guys? Like,
yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I like that. I like the idea of Doc eating her cookie, drinking her orange juice, smelling the shirt, and pondering how she wound up in this place and what her life is now. Yeah.
And how much she has to go find Maya, and she just she just has to get to where she's not shaking. She can just get to where her hands aren't shaking.
Yeah.
She can drive the rest of the way back home.
Yep. No, I like that. I like that she started driving, realized her hands were shaking and she was having trouble keeping the van straight, pulled into a 7-Eleven, rolled into a gas station, went inside and bought an orange juice and a cookie, and now she's sitting in the parking lot drinking the orange juice and eating the cookie and thinking through all this stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
That's nice. That feels very real. and her arm hurts. You know, she's got the bandage around her arm, and her arm
Mm-hmm.
hurts, and all of that.
And she just wants to go home, and she's kind of going home, only it's not really home
Right.
because and you know and maybe hopefully this Tim knows where Maya is, and or if maybe Maya will even be there,
Right.
and the and
Well, there's
and
no reason
being
for her to believe that Maya isn't there. Right.
Farragut hasn't talked about Maya as being part of the team.
Right.
I mean that conversation wasn't when she was in the room, but she also, I mean, it didn't come up, and we can have her, you know, trying to remember whether Farragut mentioned Maya.
Right.
That's possible.
Yeah, I just don't want her to mysteriously be aware of information she wasn't there to hear. But yeah,
Yeah,
she can be thinking about it for sure.
I think if she's wondering, if she's trying to remember whether he mentioned her, that's enough.
And she doesn't need to find anything at Tim's house that tells her where to go.
Absolutely,
she just knows they're not together. There was some other woman in the house with Tim that clearly was his girlfriend or wife, because there's pictures on the wall of the two of them together, and no, it's not Maya. Maya's
and
not here.
The room that was hers is the one that has like the drum kit set up in it.
Right.
They're leading a different life here.
Yep.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I can get her from the 7-Eleven to Tim's house, and then hand it back to you.
This should not be the scene, but there's like this scene popped into my head of Doc walking through the house and going into the room and seeing that it's been turned into a little craft room filled with scrapbooking stuff, and her going, Jesus, you broke up with Maya and you're dating a scrapbooker? What the fuck happened to you, Tim? What happened to you, man?
Maybe it's better that you died. Nah, no offense to the scrapbookers.
No. I think. So the way the scene is going to play out is she's not going to find Tim and Tim's wife and a beta until she gets to the master bedroom, which is upstairs.
Okay.
Because I want to trap her upstairs, because going down the stairs to get out is scary.
All right.
So I want her going through the house, and it's weird, and here's her old bedroom with full of scrapbooking stuff, and there's like half a pot of coffee on the counter that's kind of scorching. Somebody didn't turn off the pot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like just that, like the smell of burnt coffee, and it's just kind of weird, but nobody's here, and going through the house, and then going up the stairs, and there's Tim and the new girlfriend, and I guess it's a beta. I don't remember.
Whoever it is.
Whoever it is. Ripped to pieces in the mess, scattered all over the master bedroom, and going, fuck, I know what has happened, turning to leave, and then hearing a noise downstairs.
Yeah.
That's how I want to set it up, right?
Awesome. That sounds great. All right. Well, let me take my pass at 9.
Sure.
And do I'll call this 10. I'll call it 10. It's
at the very least, it's the beginning of 10.
Yeah, and you know, this will all come out in the wash when we do the first pass of the full manuscript.
One thing I wanted to mention, you know this, so I'm saying this to anybody who's watching, but so I've sent out a new master document which Joseph will be posting in the near future. Actually, probably it'll be up before people hear this, but if you're a careful reader, you may notice some minor things changed in the master. So one of the things that I do as the keeper of the master document is each time I'm adding more stuff on, I sort of do a quick read through of what we've got so far. I mean, obviously I don't do that when it gets huge, but when it's small chunks, I can still do it. And when I do that, if there's like a really obvious spelling mistake, a really obvious grammatical mistake, something like that, I'll just make that change as I'm going. So there's little changes that happen each time the master document comes out, and that's just what it is. It's just the usual process of, as I'm adding new stuff on, I kind of take a quick read through and go, oh, wow, this was obviously the wrong word, or
Hey, we named this person 3 different things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So if any eagle-eyed viewers notice there are tiny changes, that's what it is.
Fair. All right, and we're on for next week. We're not gonna be traveling.
Yeah, we are going for next week.
couple.
I think next
We
week
got
is
a
when we're
couple.
doing the Q&A, right?
I don't know.
I think
Could
so.
be.
Producer Joseph, are we doing the Q&A next week? Oh, yeah,
Well-
I'm still in town on the 6th. Yeah, so we have the 28th and the 6th. So we're doing the Q&A on the 6th.
Okay, so let's next time out. I'll have this to you.
Yep. So we'll have a rewrite of 9 and then the beginning of 10 or some portion of 10.
And then on the 6th we'll do, the Q&A, and then we'll probably drop off radar for a week or 2 or so while we do other stuff. But the documents will keep coming out, and the Q&A will be up to kind of keep people amused in our absence.
Yeah, and I still got an outline pass that I owe you that I'm going to try to get to you in the next couple days, but it doesn't affect this.
Oh yeah, for the other thing.
Yep.
Cool. And we should also talk about that book we're writing.
Oh. Yeah. All right.
That other book we're writing. All right. Sounds good. I'll meet you back here in a week.
Speaking of, so the Walter thing is in June, right?
Yes.
And that's just like a 1-day thing or a part of a day thing?
That's a weekend. It's like, it's okay. I can find the...
Well, the reason I'm asking is because if the timing makes sense, I could plan to stay out there longer than that if we wanted to do a bunch of work on that book while I'm there.
That would not be a bad idea.
Oh.
Even if it's just, it's the 2 weeks of Tao's Toolbox are June 2nd through June 15th.
Okay. So it's in between those 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll talk to Mai about maybe putting an extra week or so on there, and then we could just sort of like get a bunch of shit done.
I think if we could use that to jump, so I'm going to have most of the rest of my slate cleared by then. So if we could get on that and
okay, all right,
because the first book is coming out in August, and it would be good to have it well underway by then before the book hits.
All right,
sounds good.